Welcome back. We can learn from the mistakes we make in the past, but what can we learn from the misinformation that's passed down from generation to generation? Bad history. We want to set that straight. The Mary Todd Lincoln House is having a Myths, Memories, and Mrs. Lincoln tour that will reveal the answers to some pressing questions about the 16th First Lady and other historical quandaries. And to tell us more, of course, our friend Gwen Thompson. She's the executive director of the Mary Todd Lincoln House. Gwen, always good to have you with us, and so nice to have the Mary Todd Lincoln House right here in Lexington. You guys are a great resource for local history.
Thanks so much.
And speaking of history, you've brought an interesting item here. Let's get the backstory on this.
Okay, so our evening tours coming up is about myths, memories, and Mrs. Lincoln. So I brought one of the myths with me. Yeah, one of the artifacts from the house. This is a fire screen.
Fire screen.
So we'll pretend that we have a fire over yonder, and I might adjust this to prevent the direct heat from getting to me. But the myth associated with it is that they existed so that women could shield their faces and prevent their wax makeup from melting off.
That's the myth.
That's a myth.
Okay.
Yes. Upper and middle class women in the 1800s didn't wear makeup as we think of it today. They did use creams and potions and things like that to help their complexion, but they didn't wear makeup like we think of it.
Okay.
Furthermore, if you're wearing wax makeup and it is melting, the melting point of beeswax is over 140 degrees, so you have other problems going on.
We've got science issues going on here too, in addition to just misinformation. So, I mean, what would the primary function of this be then? Just as a general block from the direct heat then?
So fires were a way of having heat, but they were also an important source of light, so you might want to be near the light but not have the intense direct heat. And then in summertime, the fire screens could be put in front of the hearth to block the empty hearth and kind of make them more attractive. Okay,
very good. Well, that's why you have such wonderful docents on hand to help folks on the tour. I'm sure you see people go through and say, yes, that's a piece of antique artwork, and you're like, no, it's not that. This is what it is. So leave it to the experts, and you guys can certainly help us with all of that, including the special event. Now, I understand space is limited for it, and you're going to receive just a wealth of information that you don't normally see on this tour.
Right. The special evening tour is this month. It's Thursday, September 22nd.
Okay.
And it's in the evening, so it's at 5, 6, and 7. Space is limited. And it is a special topic. It's on myths and Mrs. Lincoln.
Yes.
So some will be house myths and about the things in the house. Some will be about myths associated with Mrs. Lincoln.
Okay.
And it is a special tour. Our standard tour, which we offer 6 days a week, covers her whole biography.
Oh, wow.
So this is kind of a more narrow focus
version. Okay, so with the time we've got remaining, give us a little taste here without giving away the store. What's the biggest misconception you're fielding about Mrs. Lincoln?
Oh, gracious. Well, I don't know if misconception is the right word, but it's more complicated. Of course, it has to do with her mental health.
Right, right.
And whether she had mental illness or not. And it's a more complicated story than is often out maybe on television and in popular culture.
So it can't just be summed up in a TV guide summary here. You guys are going to help us kind of dig deep into history and find out what the real story is.
Yeah, they're the more complicated story, yes.
More complicated story. Very good. Well, Gwen, what's the best way for people to learn more about this special tour and maybe grab one of those spots for themselves?
If they want to learn more, they can go to our website, and that's mtlhouse.org. And if they want to get reservations, they can give me a call at 859-233-9999. Very good. Well, one of the things I love about you all is that people feel like, oh, if I go to a museum once in the 8th grade, I'm good, I'm done. Every time I go to the Mary Todd Lincoln House, I learn something new, and so will everyone else. So we want to invite people out often to come see you guys. And I appreciate you letting us invite people.
You come visit us anytime, and I love the artifact here. That's awesome. Great story too. Good to see you, Gwen, as always.
Thank you.
Back in just a second, folks. Stick around.